Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Chat with Jenn. Tonight I have Liz Brownbridge with Michiana Paranormal, also known as MPI, from Mishawaka, Indiana.
Hello.
Hi Liz, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Glad the snow's melted.
I'm sorry?
Glad the snow's melted for now.
We'll probably have some again in the morning.
I don't want it. No. I woke up this morning and I could hear the birds chirping outside. And then I looked out and I'm like, no. It's gotta be spring.
I think it snowed the last 3 days on my way to work.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's Indiana weather.
I know it.
It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And we live close to the lake, so we get all that good stuff from Michigan too. All right, we'll just dive right in tonight. Just let us know about you and introduce yourself and tell us about yourself and what you'd like for everyone to know about you and your team and all the good stuff.
Okay, well, let's see. MPI has been around since 2012. The reason I got into this is because we lived in a haunted house for 5 years in Mishawaka. My kids were pretty small at the time, but they kind of knew something was going on. My first thing that ever happened that I was going, okay, was I saw a girl, saw her completely. She walked through the window off of the alley and all the way up the stairs. We didn't know what was going on. And from then it was just nonstop in that house. And we were there for 5 years. And you couldn't look up in the phone book for anybody to contact back in the early 80s. So that's what piqued my interest.
Wow. Sorry, Ariana was deciding to cook, so I muted my side. Wow, I couldn't imagine somebody walking through a wall and just going upstairs. And how long did you live in that house?
We were there for 5 years. We actually found, I found somebody in the phone book to come out. And unbeknownst to me, he was going to charge us. And I was like, okay. He went upstairs and he came back down. He says, I'm sorry, there's too many here. I can't help you. I'm like, you're talking about too many here. You know, you didn't watch Paranormal because they didn't have them. So I didn't know what else to do. So we got out. We left.
Sorry, she's still being noisy.
Pardon?
Sorry, she's still being noisy.
Oh, that's okay. Gosh. All my daughters are in their 30s and they still have nightmares.
Can you turn your volume up? Do you have volume control?
Yeah, it's up all the way.
Yeah, it might be my computer. So before you lived in the haunted house, did you know anything about the paranormal or that it existed?
Not really. I mean, I grew up watching all those old shows with Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, all the black and white ones, you know, and then later on it was Creature Feature and all that, but they weren't so into ghosts as they were, you know, creatures and stuff. So I don't think it was until we moved into that house that I was like, yep, there's something there. There's something on the other side that we don't know about.
Wow. Once you see it, you're like, did I see that? Didn't I see that? But once you realize what you saw, it's really a defining moment.
Yeah.
It truly is.
And then when you're trying to go to bed at night and you feel like somebody is sitting down on the bed next to you and there's nobody there.
Did that happen often?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time.
That would really be creepy. It really, truly would be.
It was creepy. We heard footsteps upstairs at Channel 5 every night. We heard a dog bark from underneath the closet door. We didn't have any dogs. You could hear music in the walls. And that it was constant. You always felt like somebody was staring at you. So, and there was nobody to help us. So we were kind of left out there and we got out.
You're very lucky because a lot of people that live in haunted houses can't afford to move, or their landlord won't let them out of a lease, or they've just bought the house and they can't move because they can't afford it. That's the big thing most of the time.
Well, my husband at the time, he did not believe us. He didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. And so after my girls and I moved back with my mom, he came over and he says, "I'm sorry, I believe you now." So he totally believes now. So, and he wasn't in that house very long after that either.
I bet he wasn't. So now, have you talked to him since he lived there?
Oh yeah, we talked about it.
Is he like, you were absolutely right, it is haunted?
Yeah, he came over to my mom's house after he had an experience there. He said that there was a little girl staring at him from the porch, the window on the porch, inside into the living room. And when he went out there was nobody there.
It kind of makes me laugh when people doubt you, and then they come back and they say, yeah, you were absolutely right, I saw that. It just makes you want to laugh and say, I told you so. But you can't do that.
No. And, and then you get these calls, you're going to think I'm crazy, but this is what I'm experiencing. How many times have you gotten that?
A few. A few. And they're like, I'm not sure. Most of it anymore is, and we'll talk about this more later, but we personally talked about this before, about a lot of so-called demonic cases. And like I said, we'll talk about that later, but I know you've recently had one and had a crazy experience with it. And for everyone that is listening or will watch the show, Liz and I actually do know each other. And we met, 4 years ago at the Hannah house, and we became really good friends since then. And I love her team, and we actually were talking about stuff tonight, and right after work we were actually talking on the phone. So it's not just between us, it's not just, oh, our teams will work together or anything. We actually are friends.
Yes, we are. Yep.
And
a great friend and a good supporter of MPI, that's for sure.
And you're the same way with me and with my team. And I know I've called you and said, hey, what do you think about this? And we've talked about some stuff that you've had. And I think I like to work with you, and I like your opinion. You always are upfront and honest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
the paranormal teams that are really into it to help people and have the love and desire for the paranormal are the people that we want to be associated with, the groups we want to be associated with.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and we have to stick together.
We do. And I know I've asked you, not recently, but before, when I was having interviews for my team, I would ask you, hey, do you know this person? And there's a couple other people that I rely on that in the area that I asked, do you know these people? And I'm sure you do the same of.
Oh yeah.
But back to our questions. What made you decide to start MPI?
Well, I started at the police department, Mishawaka Police Department, as a dispatcher back in 2008. And my trainer, Sherry Morris Ross, and we kind of shared that we loved everything paranormal. And so we kind of traded experiences, places we've been, and all that. And we should probably start our own team. That would be really cool. And then Jeff Price, he's a Mishawaka police officer. He came out to dispatch one day and heard Sherry and I talking about it. And he says, "Man, I've had experiences too." And kind of began to tell us about it. And I said, "Well, you know, Sherry and I were thinking about starting our team. What do you think?" And he's like, "Yep." So that's kind of how the ball got rolling.
Yeah, I've met Jeff, and Jeff's a real nice guy as well. I have heard from a South Bend police officer. Then I know that there are lots of haunted locations in the South Bend, Mishawaka area. She has told me she works third shift.
Oh.
And yeah, she's actually let me know a couple of times about some places. She said she was on a call and they chased this guy into an abandoned building, and he was also hearing voices as well as her and the other officers there. And she went on an alarm call. It was back last summer, to a restaurant or a bakery or something in South Bend, and the alarm kept going off, and there was something in there.
Wow. Did she give you any contacts to go in to investigate?
She tried to get the guy to let us come in and investigate, and he wouldn't allow it.
That stinks. When you hear something like that, you're like, okay, let's pack up and let's go now, you know? It gets you excited. Come right back up again.
She has offered for me to come ride with her one night as well.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to take her up on it. I really would.
Several times, but with the Mishawaka.
I mean, they run right together, so, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's several places that they talk about as well. I know there's lots of places in Fort Wayne, too.
We have a homicide detective on our team, too.
Oh, do you?
And he's told us 3 or 4 places. But he's so busy South Bend right now. It's hard to get it.
I bet. And things just seem to be getting worse, but that's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talked a little bit about South Bend. I know you've been to the State Theater, and we have as well. And I found it quite active.
Oh, what we did too. Very active.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that. You guys have a YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are your videos on there about the state?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I know we've talked about how active it was and everything. That's one of my favorite places to investigate in the area.
Yeah, now we can't get in.
Yeah. That's another story for another time.
Oh,
yeah. Should we say? Yeah. I just know what he did was really dirty.
Yeah, we've talked about that in length too.
Do what?
I said we've talked about that in length too.
Yeah, we could. That was really, quite honestly, shitty. Yeah. Especially when she got locked out and couldn't get her stuff.
Yeah. I know. So, the last time we were at the state, we had a newbie with us, and he was, you know, there's 2 different basements. There's one on the right side, one on the left side. Yeah. You know, kind of go across the building. One. And so we were down on the one on the right, and you could feel there was something there that wasn't right. Well, anyways, he got scratched. He got scratched on his back, and he got pushed forward. There's a little kind of like upper room in the floor. Mm-hmm. He got scratched his head.
Wow. Yeah, we tried to avoid that hole. That is the same. That's the same area that we heard growls, and then it sounded like, you know, when you have pieces of concrete that's loose or little pebbles in it and you walk on it on concrete, like in your driveway, if there's little pebbles or rocks there and it makes that scratching noise. We also heard that down there and thought somebody was lost or somebody decided to join us. And that's the same area that my hair was played with.
Yeah, there's definitely something at the State Theater, definitely, and I just wish we could really probe it a lot more of it.
Yeah, I would love to have that building. Maybe
would,
we should buy it together.
I would love to have the Berksville Mansion.
So, we talked about the state. What other experiences have you had there?
At the State Theater, well, we were all down on the left side of the basement, and there was one room, and it was completely blank. And I told Melody, one of our investigators, I'm like, come on, Melody, I really want to go in here. So we were heading towards the door. We got right there. Melody's flashlight got smacked out of her hand.
Oh, I think I lost you. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear about what happened to Melody's flashlight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy.
Was it in the room with the freezer?
Yes.
Yeah, I did some knocks there and got a response. And it feels like somebody's hiding in there and watching.
But that's almost the whole State Theater, you know, it's so big, and you feel like you're being followed when you walk up to the well, not the camera room, but the film.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But you feel like you're being followed up the stairs every time you go up there.
You do.
Yeah. And then by the time you get up there, you're out of breath.
I actually have an EVP of, it's that first row in the balcony. And there's no electricity up there. And you can hear me ask, is there anyone here? And you hear a child say yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have any backstory to the theater?
I only know what I have been told, and I think you've been told the same history of it about the guy that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
Were you told that story?
Yeah. About the kids too?
Yep. Yeah. And see, I don't know how true that is. Then again, it was the 1920s. There was during the Depression, so you really don't know what happened. Newspaper articles, they didn't write about that stuff a whole lot back then.
Well, they really didn't go after a lot of people. As far as because there was a depression. A lot of kids went missing.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm sure they're wanting to know what story we're talking about. We don't know how true this is, but the rumor is the basement that we were talking about that is back underneath the stage. There's a freeze there. They used to use it for air conditioning, and then it was also considered heat. They think that the gentleman that cleaned it and ran the heating and cooling was abducting children, molesting them, and killing them and burying them underneath that freezer. Hi. Is that the story you were told? Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to have her come get him. But do you know any other information about that?
Not about that, but I knew it was Al Capone and and some of his buddies used to hang out in that area.
I hadn't heard about the Al Capone story.
I don't remember all the details, but I know somebody in his gang was killed on that street, on Michigan Street.
Really? I didn't know that part.
It won't come, Mom.
So, I just lost track because she's standing behind me. What is your favorite place that you've been so far?
I would say Waverly Hills. I love that place, and you could probably go back there 20 times and not hit every location.
It is one of the most amazing places. We just went there last year, and we would like to go back. We went on one of the public tours, and they give you certain levels, but I would like to go back on a private investigation so we can go wherever we want to go and spend as much time as we'd like there.
I think when we went, there was about 8 of us, and then there was probably another 8 from that were kind of family of ghost hunters. So stuff with them.
Well, we waited and waited and waited to see the creeper, and we never got to see him. And we didn't get to hear the whistles.
Oh, well, Carrie and I were on the 5th floor, and we did a 45-minute flashlight session in room 502. So we had come down from the 5th floor onto the 4th floor, and I shut my recorder off, kicked myself in the butt for that, but shut my recorder off, and we both heard a woman scream right behind us.
Wow. And you said that was on the 5th floor?
Yeah. We had gotten down to the 4th floor. Right behind us. And one way, I was together. It's like a punch out. So I get about halfway down the hall, and I feel something really dark, it feels really evil. And I almost dropped my equipment and took off running, but I didn't. So we finished searching that whole floor, and there was nobody else on that floor with us. That was spooky.
That place is spooky.
Yeah.
I can give you that. I will truly give you that. Clarissa got some really good evidence upstairs on the 5th floor. In the it was on the, you think how they have the one side that's the children's, and then the middle where the nurse hung themselves, and then they have the adult side where they're about ready to die.
Yes.
She was standing there. We were doing an EVP session, and there was a trash can in the corner, and somehow her flashlight ended up behind the trash can, and nobody heard it. And you would have had to move the trash can to put it behind there because there was a stake about that high.
Wow.
And they're really, really active up there.
Yeah, but too, what makes it creepy, I think it was the time of year that we went, and you could hear all the frogs, and then see the planes fly over. But when you're in that little octagon in the hall, and you hear those frogs echoing in the hall, that's creepy in itself.
I didn't hear the frogs, but we did have a thunderstorm that night.
Ooh, that would have been cool.
It was really weird to see it just slowly come in. And I told the people we were with, we also met a daughter and dad duo that actually we go investigate with when they have time. They came and investigated with us last fall.
That's cool.
And I think they're going to go with us this summer some too. They're really fun to be around, and they're really great investigators.
Cool.
But we were upstairs, and I was telling everybody, I said, Can you hear them? Are they being too loud?
No.
Okay. Okay. We were upstairs and I said, can you imagine being a little kid up here with all these windows around and a storm come in? And you like 6, 7, 8 years old. Hold on a second. Sorry.
It's okay.
But can you imagine being like 6, 7, 8 years old and seeing that storm come in and wanting your mom?
That is, yeah. It'd be
It would be. It would be very, very scary. So is there anywhere else that you've been that you really like besides that place?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can't go there either anymore. Is the Circus Hall of Fame in Peru, Indiana. It was their kind of like their winter lodging after the circus kind of closed down. So they have a lot of the old trailers and stuff that they pulled the animals in. Still straw in some of them. But that place is really, really active.
Yeah, you told me about that place before. I would like to check that out. But like you said, you can't get in there anymore.
No, but not too far away and it's a wooded area, and I guess that is really haunted too.
And where's that again?
That's in Peru. It's not far from and like Indians here, but there was a lot of Indians in that area at the time too. So I don't know if they're just protecting the land, but they hear dogs barking out. And then they'll come across spider webs just kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, I actually did a private investigation down there, and the area was really creepy. And she was telling us about the history of the Indians down there.
Yeah, they were very.
Yeah, you wouldn't think Peru would be that active, but it really truly is.
Yeah. And what's kind of strange when I started talking with Craig from Miami County and found out that he lived in Peru, I was like, are you serious? Because my dad and stepmom moved down to Peru and they bought a 109-year-old farmhouse. And so I have a lot of history down in Peru too with the farmhouse, and my dad's buried in Peru. So that was kind of cool to meet somebody that was into ghost hunting and lived in Peru too. So
now, is the 109-year-old farmhouse, is that haunted as well? Or did you ever find out?
I don't think so. I don't know. I wanted to go back there and go back inside and see. You know, as a kid, the house was huge. I'd like to see what it looks like and from an adult point of view on the inside. We had a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I would like to go back to my grandparents' house because as a kid it was really spooky, and now I'm just kind of curious. Mm-hmm. Now that I do this, what it would be like to go back there as well. Yep. So where would your dream investigation be at, or dream locations?
Probably St. Albans. St. Albans.
In Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
That is actually, we are talking about going there next year.
I saw that.
So you're more than welcome to join us.
See what, you know how it is, what finances are like.
Yeah. I wish I got paid to do this, but I don't.
I know, it would be great. And you wouldn't get all that really cool high-tech equipment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's somebody else to read the evidence, but I like that.
You gotta use what you got handy and save up for the rest. So what about St. Albans makes you interested in it? I know it's one of the newer investigation locations, and it's not been open that long. So do you have information you can share about the history of it or anything?
Well, I'd probably wait until we could get Rob and Melody. There's two of our investigators, and they were down there one time and actually did some experiments down there. The God stove. Have you heard of that?
The what?
The God stove.
No. You want to?
Where you just put you listen to like static or really nothing at all, and then you cover your eyes.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I didn't know the name of it though.
Yeah, they both did that. Both had experiences. One of the guys from Ghost Adventures was down there, so they kind of hung out with him.
That would be interesting.
They had a lot of good stories on that.
They need to come on and share too then.
That's right.
Now, you do private investigations as well.
Yes.
Is there one that stands out more than any other one that you can discuss?
Yeah. It was residential in Elkhart. The original house that had been there had been, and there was another house built right there. The client was having stuff flying off the shelves, being touched, talking in the basement. She'd just be down there doing laundry and she'd hear somebody talking and there was nobody in the house. So we were doing an EVP session on the second floor and everybody agreed this one closet in this bedroom was like, there was something in there. We could all feel it. And Rob is saying, okay, is there anything else you would like to say to us? And he listened to the recorder back right there and it says, get out. Okay, we're going. Well, we did do the house busing. And after that, it seemed like it calmed down for me. But, they were a young family and she was really concerned about her child. And stuff that was going on.
Yeah, if you do those house blessings and don't know what you're doing, all that could backfire.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad it worked out.
You learn. It's been almost 6 years and you learn so much. Maybe not from a lot of other people that have been doing it for longer. And then sometimes your own mistake. Looking back, oh, I would have done this different. Oh, I wouldn't have used that. That's for darn sure. Whatever kind of prayer. So, don't do that. But you learn. You grow. You learn. You read up on it more.
I agree. You do. You learn so much. And I look back when I first started, and it's like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. I've learned a lot. I've learned what to do, what not to do, but it's still a learning process still.
It's always going to be a learning process. Yeah.
Exactly. And no person is, people may know more, but they're never the all-knowing.
No, we'll never have that. There's nobody that's going to know everything about ghosts on their own. It's usually what is most interesting to each person that makes them dig further into it, and then they become a better investigator for the team, adding experiences and learning and stuff. And that's what's cool about being part of a team, because everybody brings something different to them.
I agree. They do, and each person has different, how do I want to say it, qualities.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say qualities exactly. You said that, but like somebody may be a psychic medium, another one may be an empath.
Mm-hmm.
someone else may not see anything, but they can ground everyone around them. So not everyone has the same, what's the word I'm looking for?
Abilities.
I'm sorry?
Abilities.
Yes, that's it. See, that's what you're here for.
Yeah, our team is pretty diverse in that. Gosh, we have a sensitive, we have a psychic medium on our team. I'm an empath. I also have clear sight. It doesn't always pop up, but for the majority of the time it does. And when you get somebody who is an empath or clear seeing or clear knowing with a sensitive, boy oh boy, you get some answers.
You do. And when did you learn you were an empath? Or how did you learn?
It's kind of strange because I could look at somebody on TV, whether they were an actor or whether they were doing a commercial, whatever they were doing, and I would feel in my gut, that's not how they're feeling, that's not what they're doing. I could feel like anger or fear or sadness. It's quite a while ago.
So did you learn that at a young age or since you developed or started the team?
Probably a teen. Yeah. And both of my girls have the same thing.
Yeah, my kids do too. The one doesn't want to acknowledge it, but he has it.
But you know, it seems like that's the case anymore. They don't want to acknowledge it because a lot of times their friends think you're weird, and you know, you would like to talk to somebody about it, but
And see, the oldest one, his friends are like, "Your mom ghost hunts? That's so cool. Can I go?" And then Ariana tells her friends, and they're like, "That's kind of scary."
mm-hmm.
And it's different
Yeah.
between them. So I know we talked earlier a little bit about the demonic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to share one of your wild cases concerning this?
Oh, I think the
Or
one
what happened?
the one that bothered me the most, we had been back there numerous times, and there was a lot of claims involving a 3-year-old seeing things, being scared, acting differently. Um, you know, and we had done a blessing on her home, and then we needed to go back. She called again, needed to go back, and I had heart palpitations really bad, and I couldn't go. Well, I got with our psychic medium at the time, and I think we had taken pictures out back. And in the back they had a cornfield, and I there was probably 25 different faces and figures in that cornfield. Yeah, it was really spooky.
Wow.
And then where I felt something in the backyard by this tree, then um, you could see a guy's legs. You couldn't see the rest of him, but you could see his legs standing right next to him.
Wow.
But anyways, they had to do another blessing involving and involve the kids too. And um, I heard the recording, and this little 3-year-old little boy, he said something, but it was two different voices saying it at the same time, coming out of his voice.
That's scary. I have goosebumps.
That's coming, Mommy. That's coming back.
So bad that I kind of stepped back from ghost hunting for a little bit. If there's a demonic spirit out there who could do that to a 3-year-old, you know.
That's scary and sad all at the same time.
It is.
That's
But
Amy.
It really is.
he always wanted to go to church. He always wanted to he always wanted to be saged all the time. That's what he wanted to do because I think
The little boy did.
the little boy wanted to be,
Mommy,
and
mommy.
so they took him to church, and also the client's daughter's house had activity too, and it was probably 5 or 6 miles away. And her and her husband had actually came and got a reading from our psychic at the time, and I sat in on the reading. And as she's talking, and I'd never been to her house before that, and I drew her house on a piece of paper, but I had put a well out front. And so I showed it to her, and she says, "Oh my God, that's my house." And she said, and I said, "Well, what about the well?" She says, "There used to be a well there, but we took it out."
So do you think the well had something to do with this?
I think probably, I think it was Native American land right there. We looked into it, and there was a lot of slaughter of the Native Americans in that area. I think there was a protective spirit out back, but I think he was protecting his family back there. Hey, you guys are good to go. Just don't mess with us, Of course, limestone. There's some limestone in that area, so it could be a number of things.
When you say there's limestone, I know what you mean. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Well, I think it has some properties in it that amplify what may be going on naturally, but make it more amplified into something else. That makes sense?
It makes perfect sense. It's kind of a conductor.
Conductor, yeah.
And was there a natural spring there as well?
There was on the backside of their property.
And I would say that was probably a conductor as well, along with the limestone.
Yeah.
I would say that. And recently, you told me a kind of creepy story that happened to you. You had gotten an investigation passed along, and on the way there, what happened to your GPS?
Oh.
That's the one I was talking about.
Oh. Well, we went out there and investigated, and it was getting kind of dark, and we were going to come back and get together some stuff so that we could kind of put together some tobacco and some other stuff that we could bury on the four corners of the property. The property was pretty big, and in one corner of it, it butted up to a cemetery. On the other side of her was the KKK.
KKK?
Yeah.
No comment. You can imagine where that would go with me.
Yeah, it was, and she had negative experience on that side. But we were going to come back. We had some pretty good evidence, and we were pretty sure that we were dealing with it. But until we could find somebody to come and help us, we thought we would try and bring an offering and place it on the four corners of the property. And that used to be, that was called the Trail of Death, the Tears of Death that went through her property. Awesome. So everybody else is kind of busy, and my girlfriend Barb, who likes to fill in, she's a guest investigator with us. We got everything together, really stoked, called the client, hey, we're on our way. And so we get pretty much within, I would say maybe a mile from her house. And we had just been there a couple weeks before. We couldn't find it. We could not find her house. We turned around, we went all the way around Bass Lake, came back through. And at one time, we wound up on the same road and we stopped. Of course, I had my GPS, she had her GPS on. And it was, both of our GPSs was going around in circles. I had never, ever seen that. You know, we drove around for almost 6 hours and never.
I know you told me, I think it was the next day I talked to you, and you were telling me that your GPS just sat there and spun.
Yes.
And you drove around for hours.
Yeah. And we couldn't find it. We were just within a mile of her house. And we kept going down the road the GPS told us to go. It kept leading us back in circles. And then we had gone down another road and we stopped. And the Google Maps, whatever, you know how they say, okay, turn here, turn there.
Right.
It said, walk from here.
Walk from here.
Right. And it was already getting towards dark. And I'm like, I ain't getting out of the car. She's like, I'm not getting out of the car either. And I said, where are we going to walk? It's a cornfield over there. And then each side of the road, you know, you can go this way, you can go this way, but you can't go anyplace else. It wasn't until we turned from that stop sign and headed back left, there was a pathway in that corn. I kid you not, was probably enough for two people to walk side by side going back. And I was like, we gotta go. I have to call her, tell her we've tried everything we can. We have to go. So something was telling us not to go.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So we listened and yeah. We were freaked out. We were freaked out for days after that.
I would have been too.
That has never happened in paperwork, and I hope it doesn't happen again. And if it does, especially around my area, and I get lost, I'm going to go home and check the door.
I know I was kind of freaked out when you told me. I was like, your GPS just sat there and spun?
It was a Twilight Zone.
That it's just scary. Something definitely didn't want you there, and you heeded its warning.
Oh yes, and we had the back of her car all packed up with everything that we were going to do the offering with. And it just was not.
I wouldn't have walked down that path either.
Oh heck no! No way.
You could have had a cryptid out there. You could have had anything out there that was going to grab you.
Anything.
I wouldn't have done it either. Definitely not.
No, it wasn't an area that you wanted to get on a video.
And just by what you said was around there, I wouldn't have anyways.
It was definitely scary, and I just cannot for life figure out how we could have gone any other way to get to her house, because it was such it was so easy. I could get there right now, well, maybe. But
That's well, at least you made it safely out
yes,
and
they
made it
gave us
home all in one
to
piece.
be freaked out about for a while.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I would have been too. The person that I know the person that referred this case to you.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say when you told him what happened?
He said it sounded definitely like this is what we do there.
It was what?
He said it definitely sounds like something didn't need to be there, and it just kind of makes me wonder maybe if we persevered and actually went out there after her house and maybe did the offering, what would have happened after that? But we'll never know now.
Now, have you talked to her recently?
Not recently.
I was just wondering if
the weather got a little bit better to go back out.
I was just wondering if things have gotten a little bit better for her.
No.
No. That's too bad. I have a person, if you would like to talk to them, that might be able to go with you.
Okay.
So I can give you that. I can text you that information.
I think you did before, and they never told me that.
I think I did too.
Yeah. Yeah, I never heard that.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I gave you that information. So we're talking about this, and do you think the shows are turning more towards the ghost hunting shows are turning more towards the dark side than just going in?
I think, yes, I do. Initially, it was probably the ghost hunters that kind of really brought ghost hunting and spirits and stuff to the forefront. And of course, all their ghost hunting equipment, they had somebody that could make it. They were mainly dealing with spirits that needed some help. And since then, there's just seems like there's more, like everything is amped up. You know, one show needs to go a little step further to keep people watching. Unfortunately, but I don't think the majority of those shows are like that. I think there's a few out there, which is kind of puts a bad name on the ghost hunting shows when there's some really good ones out there.
I agree. And I think they're doing this because it brings in more ratings.
Yeah.
And I've said that before. Would you rather watch Casper the Friendly Ghost, or over here you have something that's attacking, scratching?
Right.
And the evil's going to bring it in because you're going to be like, what happened?
Right. And I started watching Mountain Monsters. Have you watched that at all?
I don't watch that show.
Well,
I know what it is, but I don't watch it.
Last season was really good. Whether it's true or not, what they've been facing, it still piqued my interest, and I binge watched it one Saturday, and there wasn't another episode after that, and I'm like, no. Hopefully next month.
Well, you can always go on a cryptid investigation with us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be having a couple this summer. I won't go hunt Bigfoot or dogmen in the winter. I'm good. I'm sure I can see their footprints better, but I'm not down with that one. We talked about the demonic, and it's starting to sell. I've actually had another email this week. I've had like 3 or 4 in the last couple of weeks that there's something evil in my house. And don't go from step 0 to step 10 without checking everything in between. But have you had anything other than a spirit or cryptid, such as black-eyed children, or elemental spirits or anything like that? Have you encountered anything like those?
Oh, okay. I
No?
don't know. Um, other than other stuff that we've talked about.
Alrighty. And we've talked about the TV shows. Do you think that they fake some of their evidence? You know,
I
you
don't.
always have to ask that one.
Oh my gosh! And my thing is, I would have to back off the closet or the room there. I'm in my basement, and I don't like it down here.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm the one that I shut the light off, but the other one is still on, and I run up the stairs and I go like this, so I don't see if there's something down there. Isn't that terrible?
you never want to know if it's in your own house.
I know. Are you like that? Would you want to know?
I know there's two things in here. The kids have told me. We have a woman. This house was built in the 1900s. Well,
Oh wow.
1900. Yeah, my house is old. And we actually have the original boards that was on the floor underneath the carpet. And Ariana and Caden have told me that there's a lady here, and they were sitting on the couch and they heard shh really loud. Ariana's seen her standing there, and she's seen a little boy. But I don't want to know because this is where I live. And I did
Well,
see some I did see something in the bedroom the other day. Xander said, "Mommy, there's a monster." And I looked in there and there was a man standing in there. I mean, it was like a profile of a man. He was bald. I could see his nose and his chin and his neck and his chest. And I was like, here we go.
oh, um, well, my husband is not into ghost hunting.
He
He
likes golf.
he likes playing golf, but I tell you, he has been a great supporter, especially on. Oh, I'll tell him, hey, could you help me carry up this equipment? No problem. He carries it all up the stairs, loads it in my car, and then when I get back, he unloads everything and puts it away for me. And about a month ago, I started seeing stuff in the house. I started hearing stuff. I started seeing and hearing stuff in the garage when I was out there. I would go out into the garage and shut the door, and you could hear running in my house when no one was there. You know how you see stuff out of the corner of your eye?
Yeah.
It was constant. Um, I saw stuff in the garage, and I told my husband, I said, we got to do something. We have to do something. So I sent a message to Kenneth and Faradil. You know who they are?
No.
They have their own uh, paranormal show, not paranormal show, but you know, the radio and stuff. But they're demonologists, Roman Catholic, and he has sent me blessed Saint Michael's medallions before when we were dealing with the other gal that had stuff going on
Uh-huh.
in Chesterton. So I messaged him and he says, just go ahead and do what I told you to do before. And I said, okay. So I got my St. Michael's prayer out and I wanted to sage, but I didn't want my daughter to, you know, smell it in the house. She's really sensitive, stuff like that. But it's because there was stuff going on with her that I think was um let's go down there. So he agreed and we went through we started in the basement and then we wound up upstairs and we said the St. Michael's prayer and I had the holy water and what a blessed St. Michael's medallion under her picture. Haven't had anything since then. But you know what? We forgot to do blessing.
I cleanse my house. I try to at least once a month.
Do you? Every door in my house has a cross on it. I mean, I take oil and I make the sign of the cross. They all have different things, but um, we did say the prayer in the garage, and I'm out there and I see from behind my bumper, the garage door down from my bumper, I saw a dark figure. He gets head around the corner enough for me to see it and then pop back behind my car. I'm like, oh my God, we didn't do the garage.
So they all went there.
Yeah, they're there. In my garage, we haven't done the garage yet, but we're going to. And at the time, my husband was working. He just started back on first shift one day. So I was by myself in the evenings. And so when he came home, I said, I put the garage door up because I knew he was going to be coming home pretty soon. And I kind of showed him what I saw, and he's like, if they could only see what we see, some of the ones that never experienced it.
I agree. They'd be believers.
Oh, and
Yeah, since I saw that man, I'm going to have to cleanse in here again. And Xander always says, monsters. I see monsters. So it makes me wonder what he sees. But, you know, if it's a shadow of a person, and I'm telling you, it was just a black outline profile of someone, that would be a monster to him. And he couldn't explain it any other way. So, yeah.
when they're that young, they don't.
And he's about the age that Ariana started seeing stuff and could communicate it too. So now when you cleanse, do you also do your windows?
Oh, yeah. Do the windows, and then the last, usually, if it's the second floor, then we leave a window open, and that would be the last room. So we're giving an exit out of the house.
Yeah, I leave a window open too. I tend to start at the top and do part of the first floor, which is the front of the house, and then I go to the basement so it has a way out, and cleanse the bathroom and kitchen and my laundry room last. That's the way I do it.
Do you
And
notice any difference when you do that?
Do what?
Have you noticed any difference when you do that, like a lightness, or if the house smells better?
It feels lighter.
Yeah.
But there's one room upstairs that my landlord has nailed shut because it's the old attic and it still has all the electric lines laying across the floor. And if you step on it, you'll fall into my kitchen ceiling.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's right, let me think, that it's over there above where I cook. And I try to get as much sage in there as I can because I can't open the door.
Yeah.
And the other day we were upstairs. Xander had ran up to Ariana's room to get some suckers. I was trying to coax him down. I was like, come on, let's go down the stairs. And he pointed at that door and said, monsters. So it really makes me wonder, you know, I sage around the door and I salt around it. But where I can't get in there to cleanse it, I don't know what's in there.
Yeah. And that's maybe why you're repeatedly seeing that.
Yeah.
After sleeping or something.
But
you want to get like a little tiny camera and put in there. If you could just slide it maybe under the crack of the door.
And he's got, it used to have a crack like about that big underneath. Mm-hmm. And he's put a piece of wood under there too. I can't even slide a paper in there now. It's so tight. But I'm good. I'm not going to set my trail cam up on the landing. I don't want to know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, no. No, I'm good on that part.
You know, I think what bothered me the most is if we would ever set up a camera in our bedroom and catch something while we were sleeping, like next to us.
Yep.
That would, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of creepy.
Yes, it would. But I have woken up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Ariana's whining that she's tired.
I was laying on my right side, and Mike had gotten ready for work, and I know he was going out to pack his lunch. This was before he went on second shift when he was still on first, and I could feel, because I was still kind of awake, you just like you kind of know what's going on, but not falling back to sleep. I could feel something really close to my face. So I'm thinking that it's my husband leaning down to give me a kiss goodbye. And I opened my eyes, and it was a dark figure, just the head. And if he had eyes, they would be barreled into mine. That's how
Wow.
it was. Probably about that close to my face. I screamed. I screamed for Mike, and flew out of that bed. He was already gone. He was already gone for work. I'm like, shit. Now what am I gonna do?
That is. That's creepy. It's very, very creepy. We actually had and it's not a person, but we actually, when I lived in Fort Wayne, I felt a cat jump up on the bed, walk across my calves, and lay down beside of me, and I could feel the fur. It was,
that's a creep out moment.
and all I could think of, well, my cat lived to be 23, so I thought maybe it was her. But that's nothing compared to you waking up and seeing that figure right there in your face.
Even when my eyes were closed, I thought for sure it was my husband bending down to give me a kiss before he left. That's not what it was. And I screamed, flew out of bed, but he had already gone. It was not him. It was a dark head. And I swear to God, if it had eyes, it would be barreling into mine. Yeah.
Now, did that happen before you cleansed the house? Or?
Oh, this was probably about a year and a half ago.
Oh.
Yeah, that stuff you just don't forget.
Yeah, that's just scary. And I've woke up with, also when I lived in Fort Wayne, I was asleep one night and I felt something walk into my bedroom. And you could feel the shift in the energy, and it woke me up. And I said, get out. And I had to say it at least twice to tell it to leave before the energy shifted back. And I don't know who or what it was, but it felt really, really negative.
And that's scary in the place you're living. And to think these people call us because they're experiencing some of the similar things that we've experienced ourselves, but they don't understand they're terrified.
Yep.
And then when they call and say, "You're gonna think I'm crazy," but oh no, we don't think you're crazy, because we've had a lot of experiences too, or some personal experience.
Exactly. And when I think it makes a better team when you've had a lot of experiences and you can relate better with your clients as well. Speaking of teams, are you looking for any new members?
Not yet. I think the group we have right now, we mesh so well together, and the excitement for each investigation is everybody's still pumped up for that, whether it be a business, a residential, or checking out a cemetery we haven't been to, or one that we've been to many times and have gotten really good PVPs and response to that. So I'm thinking probably maybe in January next year, or see how the rest of the year goes too. You never know.
Right, I agree. Now, will you be attending any para fairs or meet and greets or any conferences this year?
I hoping to make it to Hannah House again if they have that. When is it?
It's normally in August.
And it rained that whole time we were there, remember?
Oh, yeah. It didn't rain, it flooded.
Yeah. And yeah.
I thought we were going to have to build an ark that day.
Oh, and well, and get somebody driving lessons.
Did you know that Jason also, it's I believe after that, around, I think it was October last year, he also has one at Poatstown Elementary School, non-con.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't paranormal, but I want to go to the Paracon in April, or the Comic Con in April.
Oh, the one in Elkhart?
No, this is like Schaumburg.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah. There's a couple of people from The Walking Dead are going to be there. So I'm a huge Walking Dead fan.
I think the one lady I work with goes to that one normally.
Really?
Hmm.
I'd love to go.
Yeah, she's into the Comic Cons, and she also is Wiccan, and she understands when I talk about ghosts and stuff. So it's kind of nice to have somebody at work to discuss that with.
Yeah, oh, that'd be nice. Yeah. Well, when I worked at Michiana, that theory and nonstop, and it was so funny because we had a couple people I worked with too. They were on different shifts. If I had to work over them, and we were talking. And one gal told me that this restaurant that she worked at, they would always see this woman walk by, and nobody was there. And she said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "That if it happens all the time, it really sounds like it's something ridiculous. It's something that she did before she passed. That was a daily thing for her in her job."
Oh yeah, there's I did a presentation at Elkhart last year, and the lady from the library told me there's a restaurant down the street that is haunted, and they had asked me to check it out as well.
When are you doing that?
I'm sorry?
When are you going to do that?
I have to get a hold of her still. Yeah, there's all kinds of places around here.
No, and then there's one in Elkhart, and I was told by a couple people that, well, one was our homicide detective, and then another one of our other friends, that um, there's activity in the basement of the homicide unit. So we would love to investigate the basement of the unit in South Bend.
The Fort Wayne's old sheriff's department on Lima Road used to be a TB hospital.
Ooh.
And there have been lots of sightings in there that officers won't talk about. And then the gang unit used to train, gang and SWAT used to store and train the drug dogs
Mhm.
in an old school, and they tore that down, and that school was really active.
Dang. A lot of the good spots. Maybe we should just start ghost hunting like
Police departments?
Huh?
We should ghost hunt police departments.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would imagine know if we can get in there. Still gonna find out. We did a raffle for Crime Stoppers, and the guy that contacted us for that, he used to be a homicide detective, and now he's in charge of the police department for Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
And he says, you got to get in there. You got to get in there. And he's the one that won the raffle because we raffled off a mediumship reading with Dustin Livers and then a ghost hunt with us. And so he's the one that he won that raffle. So he still owed a ghost hunt. And he said, okay, well, we'll just have to do the homicide unit in the basement.
Yeah.
You get us in there and we will do it.
And you said he's Memorial Hospital, you said? Now, is that the same as Memorial Epworth?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was wondering. Because I know where that's located. Used to be an old sewing machine factory. The old Singer sewing machine.
Oh.
Over in that area used to be. Oaklawn is in that old building. And I've heard stories about there as well.
Yeah, I don't think, gosh, MC4C was over there. Yeah, it used to be Memorial's Epworth. But I don't think there's still.
Give me my cheese. He stole my cream cheese, and this is how it ended up.
Oh.
He decided to eat a block of cream cheese.
I have a tummy ache.
He's going to be up all night. But yeah, I've heard stories over there. Like I said, abandoned buildings. I think it was a bakery in South Bend that she was telling me about, that the alarms kept going off. So.
Yeah. Look.
Sorry, I'm still getting cream cheese. He must have got 3 packs out. So.
Where's mine? Where's mine?
So if someone needs a private investigation, how could they get a hold of you?
They can find us through our Facebook, Michiana Paranormal Investigations, or a lot of times people will call or leave me a message on my cell phone, which is 574-210-2883.
Okay. Now, do you have any questions for me or anything you'd like to discuss?
What's the Facebook location?
I'm sorry?
What's the location?
Oh. You're cutting out. Hold on. Let me put my other earbud in. Okay. Try it again.
What's location? Your dream location?
It would be Perpet. Chernobyl.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have seen documentaries in a couple movies. That place is really, really creepy.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I think it.
Yeah. I don't think I could go over there. Maybe I just like sitting along with it. I don't know if I would go there.
Yeah, that is my number 1. And then my number 2 is Pompeii.
I knew you were going to say that. Yes.
I would love to go to Italy and see Pompeii. I would like to go to the old Colosseum, all the, normal touristy places. And then I'd like to check out Poveglia. The island just off, I think it's Venice.
Oh, okay.
Ghost Adventures has been there. It was a haunted, it's an asylum. Oh no, I think it was an asylum for a while, and people with the plague, they would send over to the island. So they had mass burials there, mass graves. And it's been on Scariest Places on Earth as well. So that's my top spots to investigate.
I would like to go to
Where?
Alcatraz.
Oh, yeah. The lady that will be on next week, I'm going to have Southern Indiana Ghost Hunters on.
Okay.
Barb, I believe she's been to Alcatraz for her birthday last year or the year before.
I would love to.
Oh, and the founder of Psi, Mike, he used to work at Waverly as a tour guide.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He worked there for 10 years.
Wow.
So imagine the stories he has.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to have both of them on?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm trying to get their other member, Debbie, to come on as well. I don't know if she's available or not.
okay.
Yeah, they're good people too. I really like them as well.
And where are they from?
They're from down Corydon in southern Indiana.
Okay.
They're not far from Louisville. Let me double check. So I think they're way down in southern Indiana. Let me look. I was reading an article. Let me see if I can find out.
If somebody was watching your show, how would they send you a message?
They can send it through, they can go on Facebook and go to, I need to change the name of the show. I haven't been able to yet because Violet had to leave for personal reasons. And Google will not let me change the name of the show yet. I have to wait 90 days.
Wow.
So they can go to Paranormal Road Trip on Facebook, or they can go to the team page at BSR Paranormal, and they can send me a message that way.
Is it so they could type in a question live in your show?
If they're watching live, they can do that. But if it's after, like, I like to watch and listen to shows while I'm at work because it makes the day go faster. So if they have a question or anything, then they can do that. Just send a message somewhere. Let me see. They are located in Corydon, Indiana. It's down around Brown County.
Oh, Brown County, I know it well.
Yeah, it's down way south down by there.
Well, and then that kind of makes me think of Foxhole Farm.
Oh, yeah, down by Indy. We've been there. And I know they sold it, what was it, last fall? And I don't believe the new owners are letting them investigate.
Wow. Huh. Well, we got in there just to make a time.
That's what I say.
And it just, did you have any problems with the owner following you around?
No, they didn't.
And
Did you go when the doctors owned it?
yes.
Yeah, they just, we were there and the husband just said, feel free if you got any questions to ask us. And the wife came home and we sat and talked to her for quite a while. They were really nice.
He wouldn't even come out. He stayed in bedroom.
Yeah, he went, I don't remember where he went. But no, he didn't follow us around or anything.
We really couldn't. Any EVPs we may have caught, we had to throw everything out because he followed us around like that.
Really? See, we didn't have that issue. We just had the issue of not getting anything.
We didn't get anything either. Well, we really couldn't. We debunked a few things, but yeah. And the guy that had lived in the apartment,
Mm-hmm.
he showed up, and he followed us around too. And he would not stop talking, and it was all we could do just to get out on our own for a few minutes.
Wow. See, we had no issues like that when we were there.
Yeah.
None.
I don't know if it was the equipment that we had, or I don't know. We had the big rooms and the big cameras, and I don't know if that was thought he was going to be on another TV show or something. But I've talked to other people that have been down there and really got some good evidence too.
Yeah, see, it was really quiet that night we were there. Really, really quiet.
And it just makes you think after all this time, you know, spirits are going to be like, leave us alone. I don't want to talk to anybody else.
I know. But still, they talk, or they're really quiet.
Yeah.
And we went to the jail on Saturday, and the jail in Warsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go back in September. I want to compare it how it is in March compared to September, just to see. We had a lot of activity with kids this time around, and normally it's with the men and Annie. So I'm going to compare that. And that goes along with what you said about if they're tired of talking or certain ones want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, well, we have talked for an hour and a half. Anything else you'd like to share tonight, or?
No, I would love to go to the jail with you sometime.
More than welcome. So.
It would be so fun to find really cool locations within Indiana.
I agree.
That, you know, that we could make like a yearly trip to, or something like that, or have them kind of combined and maybe 100 miles away from each other, just take a road trip and go to the next one.
Yeah, it would. When we get rich, we'll go investigate anywhere and everywhere.
Awesome.
One of us wins the lottery.
Yep. Or publish a clearinghouse.
As long as Ed McMahon delivers.
That's right. He does. I don't think he does that.
I think he's retired.
Probably.
So, all right. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. Just hang out for a second, and I'm going to play our end music, and I'll just end the show there and just hang out for a second.
Okay.
All righty.
Sounds good.
I can find my end music. All right.